my great pleasure to be present at the reception celebration of the National Day of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina. It was an opportunity to meet with many prominent people in the nation's capital, Washington. The conversations were so important and very meaningful. In particular, it was a nice occasion to meet with Ambassador James O'Brien, the current Assistant Secretary for Europe and Eurasian Affairs. I was impressed with the deep interest in cementing peace among the former republics that made up the country of Yugoslavia in the past. The National Day of Bosnia honors its independence in the year 1992. The whole world knows the tragedies and the sufferings accompanying the breakdown of the Yugoslavian Federation. However, the restless United States support for the sovereignty of Bosnia was a primary factor in maintaining her autonomy. It was the perseverance and the hard work of the people of Bosnia and Herzegovina that preserved her status as a respected country in the community of nations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I have your attention, please? We're about to start our program. Please stand at attention for the national anthems of Bosnia and Herzegovina in the United States of America. attention. May I now invite His Excellency Sven Alcalay, Ambassador of Bosnia and Herzegovina to the United States of America, to deliver the welcome address. Your Excellency, please.
Thank you. Welcome to Embassy of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Mr. Assistant Secretary Jim O'Brien, Mr. Escobar Das of the State Department, and all excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, which I see many here. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to welcome you all today. I'm very pleased that you are here to share and celebrate this significant date in our history, the 32nd anniversary of the independence of Bosnia and Herzegovina. We are very honored to see many genuine friends here today, such as also military and civil officials and representatives of the state of Maryland, our partner state, with whom we marked and celebrated the 20th anniversary of a state partnership this year. Allow me to begin by conveying my sincere and heartfelt congratulations to all Bosnians and Herzegovinians here in the United States of America, and to all those who consider Bosnia and Herzegovina their homeland on the occasion of the March 1st, the Independence Day of Bosnia and Herzegovina. As we gather to commemorate the Independence Day of Bosnia and Herzegovina, I want to reflect not only on our nation's journey to sovereignty, but also the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead in our current political landscape. March 1st marks a pivotal moment in the Bosnia and Herzegovina history. 32 years ago, in 1992, the citizens of Bosnia and Herzegovina participated in an independence referendum on self-determination and voted for a sovereign and independent Bosnia and Herzegovina. 32 years ago, Bosnia and Herzegovina citizens showed their courage and resilience in their pursuit of self-determination and freedom. The question that was asked at the time was the following: are you for a sovereign and independent Bosnia and Herzegovina, a state of equal citizens, the peoples of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Muslims, Serbs, Croats, and the members of other peoples living in it? Nearly 2/3 of eligible voters participated in this referendum, and almost all, meaning 99.7%, voted for Bosnia and Herzegovina independence and sovereignty, confirming the multicultural and multi-ethnic history and reiterating that all citizens should have equal rights. What I want to underline about this 1992 independence referendum is that voters exercised their right to vote as citizens rather than constituent peoples. It was crucial for the voters to understand that their decision would impact the entire population regardless of their ethnic background. This approach helped to transcend ethnic divisions and prioritize the collective interest of all citizens, fostering a sense of inclusivity and democracy during a critical moment in Bosnia and Herzegovina history. Soon after the referendum, the EU recognized Bosnia and Herzegovina in April 1992, and the United States did it later, which created the conditions for Bosnia and Herzegovina to become a member of the United Nations on May 22nd the same year. Unfortunately, what followed the decision was a brutal aggression against our country from 1992 to 1995, against its peoples, its citizens, against everything the generations of Bosnians and Herzegovinians have created together throughout the history. We suffered a great sacrifice, genocide, siege of our capital, Sarajevo, and a great destruction of the country. However, the resistance we put up, the courage, determination, and persistence in defending our renewed independence will forever be remembered both in the country and around the world. It is important to remind ourselves of the sacrifice made by those who came before us to secure Bosnia and Herzegovina independence and sovereignty. The United States played a significant role in ending the war in Bosnia and Herzegovina. As the conflict escalated, The United States recognized the urgent need for international intervention to halt violence and played a pivotal role in brokering 1995 Dayton Peace Accord. It's not that Mr. O'Brien, Assistant Secretary of State, is here with us tonight, but I must say that our great friend, Mr. O'Brien, played a key role in that process. We were together in Dayton, so that's left a mark never to be forgotten on the modern history of our country. The United States also continued to provide support and assistance in the post-war reconstruction and the reconciliation process through various diplomatic and military efforts, such as participating in peacekeeping forces, namely the NATO-led Stabilization Force S4, and assisting in the reconstruction of the war-torn country, humanitarian and aid and economic development. I've said this before, and I will say it again. Bosnia and Herzegovina is incredibly grateful to the United States for its unwavering support. It should be recognized by all that your dedication to bringing peace to Bosnia and Herzegovina has made an immeasurable difference in the lives of our citizens. The partnership between our nations symbolizes the shared commitment to democracy, peace, and prosperity. No country has done more to help us, and we will never forget it. However, as we celebrate our past achievement, we must also confront the realities of our present situation. Bosnia and Herzegovina continues to grapple with complex political dynamics and socio-economic challenges that hinder our progress towards unity and prosperity. We are at a crucial moment in history and need America's and our allies' enduring support to continue with the necessary reforms to ensure our sovereignty, territorial integrity, and multi-ethnic character. The situation in Ukraine and Gaza serves as a grim reminder of the continued need to fight for the preservation of peace and democracy in Bosnia. We must absolutely maintain our territorial integrity and move forward to take our rightful place in the Euro-Atlantic community. Given the quickly changing European security landscape, pursuing our Euro-Atlantic path for NATO membership takes on even more relevance. To that end, Bosnia and Herzegovina is engaged in a wide-ranging program of cooperation with NATO, and this strong partnership was recently on display where the North Atlantic Council, NAC, NATO's highest body, visited Bosnia a few weeks ago. Let me be clear that Bosnia and Herzegovina wants to be not only a consumer of security, but also a provider contributing to the regional security. For its part, EU membership lies the foundations for economic prosperity, civic state, rule of law, and respect for human rights and freedoms of all citizens. Bosnia and Herzegovina continues its progress towards European integration, working on fulfilling the necessary conditions to start negotiations with the European Union. We hope to receive an invitation for opening negotiations shortly. One thing is certain, the road to EU does not go through Belarus and Russia, which Milorad Dodik has recently visited and who, encouraged by them, openly calls for the secession of the smaller entity Republika Srpska from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Dodik's reckless rhetoric aimed at exacerbating ethnic tensions and ultimately dismantling the state of Bosnia and Herzegovina is not only destabilizing for our country, but also threatens regional stability. However, Bosnia and Herzegovina's threat lies in the resilient people and their determination to overcome such attacks by transient politicians. Such attacks cannot and will not call into question a state that has lasted for 1,000 years. The celebration of Independence Day and your presence at this gathering tonight testify to the resilience and to our shared willingness and to the determination of the embark on the path to progress. I'm convinced that we have enough energy and potential to be successful in implementing the reforms necessary to secure our rightful place in the Euro-Atlantic community. A strong, as and prosperous democracy. United in our diversity today, we will bring more prosperous tomorrow. And before closing, I would like to express my special gratitude to our generous sponsors, without whom this event would not have been possible. I will just mention Brother and Sister Food Services Company, Mr. Aziz Sharkovic, Mr. Admir Ahmetovic, who came all the way from Phoenix, Arizona to be here tonight with us. Prevent USA Corporation, Be Hard Foundations, Ercona Dio Company, Vines of Illyria, and some others. And I would like also to express my gratitude to my staff, which was working tirelessly to make this event happen. So thank you very much for being here tonight, and we'll continue with the program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your inspiring words. Now, I would like to invite Ambassador James O'Brien, Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs, to give his remarks.
There is a table full of cooling, delicious food, and me standing between you and it. So I promised Sven I would be brief, and I'll start with saying thanks to Sven Alcalay. We got to know one another in the years leading up to date and during your first stint as ambassador here. And it matters a great deal to have your judgment, perspective, insight, and relationships here now, when the country faces perhaps the greatest opportunity in the time since date. So it matters that you're here. Thank you very much. This is a holiday or day tinged with sadness. So it's not entirely just a celebration. It was a moment when the citizens of Bosnia and Herzegovina declared that they wanted to have their own independent future. But it also was a day that was followed by much sadness. You know, we saw the phrase ethnic cleansing enter global communications. We saw the kinds of depredations, the violence, the aggression that Sven mentioned in his remarks. So any thought of the hopes of the people who cast their ballots on March 1st, 1992? Many of you might be, some of you might be here in this room. The hopes held that day. We have to remember what happened in the years that followed. And so I'm going to speak now a bit in the memory of the people who didn't survive until date and who didn't survive the time immediately after that. Because that was the Bosnia that I first got to know. Not the beautiful country that was there before or that is there today, but one that was being torn apart by a neighbor, by opportunists, by criminals, by people who were seeking to take advantage of the collapse of what had been Yugoslavia. And in that time, Bosnia also, and Herzegovina was a great example to the world of organizing to defend oneself, of building relationships anew as a new state, working with the United Nations, working around with many of the countries concerned about what was happening, and standing up for innocent civilians who were being victimized on a daily basis. In that context, we saw the world for the first time since the trials after World War II declare that certain crimes must be punished, and actually carrying out that promise with an international tribunal. And I began to get to know representatives of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, citizens, not members of a constituent people, and representatives of the other groups. And I remember the first real negotiating session I was at, it was in Vienna in 1994, where a few of the representatives, having been smuggled out through the tunnel to the airport and then flown out for negotiations, noted that it was really dark time, This was a time when the armed forces of the Republic had tried to take territory and failed to hold it. They were being pushed back in many sides. And the overwhelming sense of resistance and commitment that came through them was inspirational for all of the internationals who worked with them. And I remember one of the representatives on the team saying, we're here, meaning Vienna, but we're also here in Bosnia, and we're gonna stay here. We won't be driven out, we won't be driven under. That kind of courage has been a lesson to all of the people who've suffered something similar since, and I think is a message that people of Bosnia now can hold with them as we look at the challenges of today. And through all of the difficulties that followed, the offensives of 1995, the end of the siege of Sarajevo, the negotiation of the Dayton Agreement, the difficulties in getting all parties to live up to their obligations under the Dayton Agreement, all those through the years. I could go through, every year there was a moment when it seemed things would fail. What I'll say is now in 2024, Bosnia is still here, and it's going to be here. And now we face a challenge from within and an opportunity in that the European Union is very serious about being willing to consider candidacy status for Bosnia and Herzegovina. This will be a great challenge because the arrangement made at the end of the war was for one kind of politics, and now we are looking at a different kind of politics to be a modern European state. It will be hard for some political leaders to change how they operate or to give up the power they have accrued, but it's necessary so that the people of Bosnia and Herzegovina can have the future that they deserve, and frankly, that many of their citizens seek by moving rather than staying home and creating the Bosnia and Herzegovina that should be. Now, I've spoken with many of the leaders of Europe in the last couple of weeks, talked about their perspective. There's enormous optimism that the region of the Western Balkans all belongs as a part of Europe, in this European political community, and particularly the European Union, and that Bosnia and Herzegovina deserves to be a part of that, provided that the political leaders are willing to do the work that's needed, and that the people stand and insist on seeing their rights vindicated in the process of joining the European Union. We in the US will stand in strong support of the aspirations of the people of Bosnia and Herzegovina, all of the people. And we'll work with our partners in Europe to see that this opportunity is not lost. So there is should be a real sense of hope around this anniversary, this year. And we know there will be very hard work ahead, but we're happy to stand with you and do that work so that we will do it together as we have done since 1992 and especially since 1995. My hope is that when I come here for Sven's next time as ambassador, that we will be looking at a list of members of the European Union, and we will say Bosnia and Herzegovina is here, and it will still be here. So thank you for joining us here tonight. I look forward to chatting with many of you, but mostly I look forward to you all devouring the wonderful food that's here. Thank
Thank you, sir, for your kind message, as well as your support and commitment to fostering and promoting good relations between the United States of America and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now, I kindly invite His Excellency Ambassador Alcalay to offer a toast. Your Excellency, please.
There you go.
Thank you. I hope you have all drinks and not. So, Jim, please. On this 32nd anniversary of independence of Bosnia and Herzegovina, I would like to raise a quick toast to thank the United States being with us all the way along, and we will continue developing as Assistant Secretary said, developing our strong partnership, our building our institutions, and bringing Bosnia and Herzegovina to the Euro-Atlantic institution. Really.
L'chaim.
Okay, someone has to go first. Gabe.
No.